Hello, this is Jake. Welcome to part 2 of the Britannic diorama, or Britannic wreck diorama. So last time, part 1, let me just pull my chair closer. I got a Tamiya Volvo next to me because that was on the workbench. So last episode, we built the basic ship, cut the front end off because of the wreck of the Britannic. If you remember, the bow. It hit a sea mine, blew a massive hole on the side of it. When the ship sunk and hit the ocean floor, it snapped off basically, and is now laid beside the wreck like that. So what I've done in the meantime, it's only been a couple of minutes since I finished the first episode, to be honest. I've cut this piece of wood. This is spare from my model railway upstairs. That's why there's a bit of glue on it from where I just glued the track down. It was in the fiddle yard, so it didn't need pins or anything. I just sanded down the edges. Not perfect, I know. There's a little bit there. But what I'm going to do is, in this episode, we're going to have a look at placing the wreck, sticking it, and looking at some of the debris around it. Now I didn't finish, I didn't fit the mast on the ships because one of them's completely bent down into the sand with the wreck. As for the smokestacks, the chimneys in here, there's 4 of them. In all of the photos I've looked at, there's only actually one near the ship. So maybe they all came off whilst the ship was sinking. Eyewitnesses said that. So maybe the ship crushed a couple of them. Well, 3 of them. But in the photo there is one. Let me just get the photo back up. There is one just down here, see it? And it's flat. Now this ship isn't that far underwater. It's not deep water. Some people say the ship would have hit the ocean floor with the back end still out of the water, and that could have been the reason for the damage. But yeah, maybe there's 1 or 2 underneath the wreck, but there's one there. So what I'm going to do, I think, we'll use at least 2 of them, 2 of the chimneys. And we'll place one where it should be, on the side here. Let's put it outside so you have a better look at it. So we'll place one roughly about here, and then I think I'll place another just over here on the edge somewhere, a little bit farther away from the wreck. I haven't got a marker pen down here, have I? Or have I? I will just double check. I got everything. I got a pencil, that'll do. So I've got to draw the outline of the wreck. Roughly where we want it to go. Now this is the wrong side, so let's get that right first. There we go. And we take this tape off now as well. I put the tape on just to hold the deck down whilst I was gluing other parts, and it done its job. A little bit of Tamiya tape, what I use for my trucks and that, and it held it down quite nicely. So there's the wreck. It's going to be like that. And then the bow section like that. If I say front again, I'm sorry. As for the damage to the ship where it broke off, I will be doing that with little tools as I go along. But let's draw the outline of it. So yeah, that's about right. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah. So let's build 2 smokestacks. We only need 2. Now they all the same because only 3 of them actually, you know, worked on the Titanic and the Britannic and the Olympic. There's a lot of people don't know that, but people who follow know everything about the Titanic know that. Yeah, used for several things. I think they were. Someone used to tell me they was used to store the animals. I don't think that was true. There we go. So we only want 2. Now, like I said, the one in the picture is flat, where it's just, you know, rotted away. So what we're going to do is just cut them down a bit. There's a joint now. We don't need the joint because we're not joining it to the ship, are we? So we'll build one anyway, fully. That glue is strong. They go together quite nicely. There we go. But I am thinking maybe just to leave the one unbuilt and then just put the side down in the sand. Cut all the ladders off and that, because it doesn't look like that's on there anymore from the pictures. So yeah, that might be something to think about. So let's put the wreck back in place. Let's say this one here. Let's just cut off the joiner part. There we go. Like that, something like that. And then I'm thinking just put this one out of shot somewhere, maybe up here, like that. I think that looks quite good. What else do we need? So I got a photo, another photo of the Britannic that I put on Facebook last night. I found on YouTube, sorry, Facebook. Yeah, I found on. I found this picture. Okay, so showing another funnel here, roughly. That's interesting. Yet from the other photo, there's not a funnel there. So yeah, there's only one. There's quite a bit of debris. Have we got the front? There it is. Goes right on the bow of the ship, you know, the front end. I keep saying front. Yeah, so is this going to be a good fit? No. Go, just cut that down a bit. It's pointing that way because obviously the wreck like that, it would just be hanging down from the photos as well. So there we go. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty legit. Was the bit on the back end where the flag goes, the flag pole. Oh, let's have a look at the masts. Where are they? So the one with the crow's nest, which is that one there. No time I don't worry about damaging them when I'm taking them off the sprue. Right, I'm going to have to turn this around a second so I can see what I'm doing. So this is in place like that. It won't go in place because there's a little bit of a line there. Some of these parts do need it from time to time. Yeah, it's not a great fit actually. Let's try that. There we go, that's better. You just damage that as well. So there's the mast. Now it's basically bent straight down into the dirt or sand. To get this to work, what I'm going to do is cut a little bit off this side so it doesn't fit in the slot perfectly, and that means it should drop down towards the ground. Yeah, it will, but not completely, so I'm going to cut a bit off it. There we go. Something like that. Let's put the There we go, so something like that. And it looks like it's from roughly where my thumb is here. That section's not there, so that'll probably be buried in the sand slightly. So we're going to cut that off, from what I can see in the photos. All parts are put to the side, what I don't need, but I might use as debris around the wreck. And that should not come off. That's a bit of an hard bit to do. Just to get it right. Let's have a look at the photo. It looks like the bridge, the actual bridge to the ship is completely gone as well. On the front here, didn't even think of that when I was building this. So that might have to be, I don't know, is it? Yeah, it does look like it's gone. Like I said, you can't really see the other crane, and I'm guessing the crane's there. So one thing we do have to look at is the front section, because in the wreck, I don't know, see it's all bent and curled. I'm gonna have to try and do that in a way. Oh, and the anchor's on there, so yeah, I can paint that then, do something with that. I do reckon the ship maybe crushed one or two of the chimneys as it went down. But let's cut some of these cranes out, because I am going to put some on the back. You can't really tell from all the photos, but I would say that some of them are still on there, because they were strong cranes too. They could lift quite a bit. There we go. Make sure the camera's still recording. Been there, done that before, and built a model. Well, not built a model, I was reviewing a model and it wasn't recording. I don't want to be doing that. That's not a great fit neither. Some of these parts are really not a great fit. That's why I'm just cutting bits off them, so they just slot in place like that, and then I can just put a bit of glue around them and they should be fine. I got a couple more ships to pick up from the model shop as well, because this is not the only shipwreck diorama I'm doing. If you want to see more, there's going to be more. I got 3 or 4 planned at the moment, 2 of which are quite big, quite going to be very big wrecks. Got shakes a bit then, God. I never get shakes when I'm building something. Oh, that little flagpole at the back, I will put that in place. However, I don't think, from looking at the photos, it's there. I couldn't see it. On the back there is I forgot to put this in earlier, in part 1 actually, because this should have been done in part 1. I've just remembered. I thought the stern looked a bit bare. There we go. Which way does it go on? Right. Like that. Up here, sorry. We go. It's like a walkway on the back there. Again, I think that was all different on the Britannic. This was all covered. What can I do? It's fine. I'm not too worried about that. Make sure there's more cranes to go on, you know, and I'm starting to wonder, did the ship really need all these cranes? I'm gonna leave one off because I'm gonna have one as a mess on the floor basically. Oh, there's cranes at the top here as well, so let's put one of them on. I'll do one more crane, I think. That's not the cranes. So I'll put this one on, this side. Like I said, we ain't got to bother with the lifeboats for now. There we go. Bit of glue. One last thing I want to do with the wreck before we stick it is just see if I can get these sorted out on the front now. They might need some persuading, so if I just hold them down for a bit. By the way, I just used glue, like brushed it a bit, because sometimes it can take the plastic with it. Then you put it back in the pot and it can contaminate that entire pot of glue, which I've done before now, and it's not great. So, shall we take a closer look at this before, or shall we stick it first? I think we'll stick it first. We'll go and get some glue. Right, as I was walking up to get the PVA glue, I realised I still got to do the gouge marks and marks where it's split in half. So I'm just going to get this glue ready. The top's sealed on it. So yeah, I got to do some damage to it basically. Where's my pliers? I will just try and do a little bit here. Just break little bits over it. See how that turns out. Because it's right on the strut line of one of the struts, it might be a little bit difficult. Okay, so I've had a little go at it and trying to, where it's snapped off, make it look like it's completely snapped off and not just cut. And you know what, it's worked out quite well. What I'm going to do is put it in place and I'll zoom the camera in so you can see what it looks like. It might need a little bit more work, but for now it doesn't look too bad. The front end has to be kind of lifted slightly. I might have to put some under that. But anyway, let's have a look. Let me just... Whoa. Don't know how well you can see that. There we go. I mean, when it's all primered and that, it should look great. Now, what I have done with this is, when I've cut some of these plastic bits out to make it look like that, I've kept the plastic bits, and what I've got to do is just stick them to the actual wreck. And then when it's primered, it should look a little bit better. There we go. Now, I did have a look at doing the front of the bow, and because I said there's like lines in it where it dug in and basically just mangled the front end of the bow. I said it again. Yeah, just mangled it and creased it, or it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that with this model. I did have some ideas how I'm going to do it, but I don't think it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is leave that. That's going to be a little bit of modelling license, I think. But all that's left is to stick this down, the wreck. Let's stick it down. So let me just zoom out. There we go. Probably zoomed out a little bit too much there. And like I said, what we're going to do is stick it down PVA glue. There's nothing better to use than PVA glue in my experience. There's some bits there. Bits of plastic all over the place. Now this is what I was saying, like you could put them on the wreck or just put it around the wreck as debris. So what we're going to do is, let me close that glue up before it goes funny. Let's stick it. Right, it's time. Let's stick the wreck. Now I am missing 2 cranes on the stern, but they're going to be placed after the wreck is stuck down. I don't know if the bow section looks right. It looks more bent over. Like maybe just something under, just to prop it up a little bit. have I got any? I do have these little plastic bits. Let's see. We don't have to stick anything yet, so let's put it down here more. Yeah, straight away that looks a lot better. What I'm going to do is get the photo up again, just have a look. Maybe it don't need it. Going from the photo here, it might not need it. I've got to try and get it all lined up perfect. I'm just going to trim a little bit off the side here, just so it fits in better with the front, with the main section of the ship. Just so I can get it a little bit closer, like that. Seems about right. That looks pretty good actually. Looks a lot better. Let's stick it. Right, let's get some PVA down. Jammed in there, but there we go, we got glue. Put more than I need, and then great thing PVA glue, it takes a long time to dry, so you have time to get rid of excess and everything. Right, here we go. Is everyone ready? So I have my big head got in the way though. There we go. There we go, and then again with the bow section. It's getting the bow positioned right, because in some of the photos it's a mess. That's a better photo. I don't know if you're, oh wow, you'll see this, but see that's the wreck on its side, and you can get an idea how the bow is all twisted. So I'm just gonna move it around just so I can have a look, make sure I get it right. It might be a little bit too far up, like that maybe. I was hoping there's a photo of looking down on it like a scan, as well as pictures of the smokestack style. So what I'm going to do now is just cut a bit off the smokestack and put the smokestack in place there. Right, let's just make sure, let me move my phone out of the way, just make sure that the smokestack's going in the right place. Yeah, so the smokestack is roughly, it's not that far from the wreck, however that's the wrong side. I've just realised that is not the right part. It's this part we need. Good thing I got 4 chimneys to cut up. If I make a mistake with one, I got 3 spare. I'm really looking forward to the trumpeter model they're doing. The, what's it, 1/200th Titanic. Might get that. If you want to see it, let me know. It's roughly about there, so let's just put a nice dollop. There we go. Not too much. Might need more than that. Actually, let's get, yeah, a bit more. There we go. Now, there's a bit too much on there, but that is okay, because great thing PVA, like I said earlier, it doesn't dry fast, so you can just remove anything. A bit of tissue. The shed's a mess at the moment, the workbench. So listen, that'll do. And that is, I don't know if I just swiped some off that, but oh, is that a little bit of plastic? That's alright. That looks pretty damn good. So what I'm going to do now is primer it. I can't film that at the moment, so we'll probably start off with part 3, and this will be completely primered up. So that is it for this video, this part 2 of the Britannic wreck diorama, and I will see you in part 3 in a couple of days. I won't be doing anything else today, so yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye for now, and thank you for watching. I'll take some photos of this so you can get a better look at it. for the end of the video. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.